Feliz Navidad.
Da, 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 da.
Feliz Navidad.
Nice.
I saw this thing that said Feliz Navidad. And it was like on an apartment. I love it. Yeah.
I've seen that one too. That's
So
funny.
cute.
So, well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, ladies.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you as we wrap up here. As this airs on Christmas Eve, and then we will be back with you on January 2nd. So, as we just kind of, the holidays are all, you try to do that balance of giving people time off and making sure stuff's covered, and then also just trying to get all the social stuff and all the family stuff and all that. So, yeah, there's still a lot of stuff. I know we all still have a lot to do before the big day.
Mm-hmm. Did you start early? I started early and feel like I'm still so far behind.
Fortunately, Ellen was the one who started early with the numerous Temu and Shein and packages that come across my porch the last few whatever. And Scott is known as the elf. Scott is the one who just goes Christmas shopping. Would Mom like this? Would Michelle like this? Would Alex like this? So
I need one of those.
Yeah, he's really good. And then this morning, Alex happens to be out of town. He's coming in Tuesday, but he's like asked me Scott's shirt size because he wanted to get him something at the White House gift shop. So
really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
That's a story for another day, though. I can't say much more than that.
No,
so.
I was going to say, hopefully he's not going to watch this.
But yeah, so no, he always watches. So, but I look at again, my November and December are my two favorite months. Because of birthday and Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, all that. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm one of these people that even when I finally do decide to retire or whatever, I'm not going south because I love the weather this time of year. And then, after New Year's, if I want to go be warm for a month, great. But aside from that, I want to be here. I want to be around family. And again, I like winter. I like snow. Yeah. Especially at Christmas time.
But you're not getting
No, Brent Clare made that pretty clear that we will not be having a white
It's actually
Christmas.
supposed to be kind of
nice-ish.
Nice,
yeah.
If you would say that.
I don't know if it's nice enough for me to do the prime rib on the grill or not. But
yeah, it's going to be close to 50. Maybe rainy, though.
Nice enough to haul your gifts around if you have to go from Christmas or food, whatever you're bringing.
And young kiddos.
And how many stops do you have?
We have 3 this year on Christmas Day.
How many stops do you have?
We host Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we go to. We normally go to Beardstown to Luke's grandparents, but we push that back to New Year's Day, so everybody has an opportunity to kind of hang for a little bit, and then we'll go to his parents' Christmas Day around 2-ish, and then we end up staying the night there. So it's a whole day of celebrating, and normally we'll stop at my sister's in between our Christmas morning and Luke's parents' house. So it's a full day, full weekend, full weekdays, I guess.
So it's hang, too. I was speaking of hang, our family always sets us up to be hung over on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We do Christmas Eve at my dad's house. It became a tradition a couple of years ago after he thought he became Clark Griswold. And everyone... Has he
always been that way?
He's always been Captain Christmas, but the Clark Griswold in him came out the last couple of years. I think obviously this last year with retirement. Anybody that knows where they live knows where they live right now because, their house is the one on the block that is shining bright with... I don't know how many blow molds he has now, but I'm thinking it's close to 50-something.
Yeah, it's really decked 60. Out, and there's always a pooch in the window.
Yes.
And I see it a lot because I drive around a lot. So, and is also Pizza Hut night?
They changed it to Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee Pizza.
I don't think Pizza Hut does... Don't quote me on that, but I don't think they're doing their Christmas Eve. They got too inundated.
Wow.
Hy-Vee
Pizza's great.
No, it's not Hy-Vee Pizza. We're doing I think deli.
Oh. Hy-Vee Pizza's great. I do Hy-Vee Pizza.
Really?
I love everything Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee Pizza's excellent.
Hi Chai.
I was going to say Hy-Vee Chinese is the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really pull out the Christmas story in us.
Thursday night with the when they do the steaks on Thursday night, $10 for steak, potatoes, and green beans. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such an easy dinner.
I've been to Hy-Vee probably 6 or 7 times in the last 2 days, in the last 48 hours.
I've spread the wealth. I've done all different stores here and there and everywhere, and we'll be making multiple more stops because I keep forgetting shit.
Neiman's had had a I downloaded their app and I went the 99-cent turkey, the 99-cent ham, and the $10.99 a pound prime rib.
Yeah.
And then I got a bunch of other stuff at Hy-Vee. So yeah, I was definitely equal opportunity. And if you go to Sam's today, and Sam's not even an advertiser. At least Hy-Vee. At least I'm getting money back from Hy-Vee and Neiman's.
Speaking of Neiman's, they also
local.
did their drawing for that.
Hy-Vee?
Yeah.
No, well, Hy-Vee did their drawing.
Hy-Vee did the ham. So
Yeah.
Tangy Frazier.
Well,
Congrats
Tangy,
to her.
congratulations.
Yeah.
But the Neiman's did a giveaway as well on their own for like a nice bottle of whiskey. I think it was something
that.
you knew.
Yeah.
Rip Van.
Yeah, Rip Van Winkle. That's like high dollar stuff.
Our friend Levi, I can't think of it. Levi Schmidt, who talked to us about Schmidt Happens Masonry.
The brick guy. Masonry. Yeah.
He actually is the one that won that.
Wow.
Small world.
Yeah.
Community.
Yeah, love it. And then, so the ham was like the lowest price it's been at Neiman's in like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Way to give back. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and they ran out of the Smithfields.
Yeah.
So they got a corn top instead, and I'm like, hey, I don't care. It's 99 cents a pound. It'll be fine. So.
And speaking of whiskey, did we try Two Bitches whiskey at Scoreboard?
I'm
Yes.
never.
Did we?
That's such a
think so.
setup line.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that. I'm not even mention that. Might be where I'm sitting.
No.
But,
So I was like,
that'd
that's
be between.
a perfect
That's
whiskey for
between.
Bob. Yeah. No. But anyway,
Yes, we did.
there's
We did, yes.
yeah, there's so many great things happening, and I know it's not an easy season for everyone. Not everyone is fortunate to have family and things to look forward to, but I do think that it is a time to kind of, even amongst all the hustle and bustle, take some time to be present, take some time to really kind of relish in family and just the meaning of the season, whatever that is for you. For us, it's definitely being around people that we love, which is why I'm glad I'm here with you today. Oh, and that's the nicest thing I'll say all day.
Well,
and you're welcome.
Scoreboard, when we did that tasting, we also did the Elijah Craig Double Barrel, and
Yes.
some ladies gave me some
Ooh.
that I am actually, and a guy in my own glass, and
Yes.
thank you guys. It was very sweet of you.
Yes.
Sorry I was lazy and just gave you guys cash, but hey, I'm sorry.
Cash is king, baby.
That is what we like the most.
Cash is king.
But no, it's again, I totally agree with just on that day, once the presents are all done and all that. One of the best things that we ever did in our family was start going to church on Christmas Eve as opposed to Christmas Day, because usually when the kids were little, we'd open the presents and we'd go to mass, and then we'd go to Perry, and then we'd do this and do that. I'm like, oh my God! Now we go to on Christmas Eve, done, masses. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that, but yes, we do. And then on Christmas Day, open the presents, eat breakfast, watch movies. I usually probably have a fire built by 10 o'clock, and Christmas Day is just great. And again, everybody's home. And again, I'm at that point in my life where I'm very lucky and grateful to have everybody home at the same time. So, but yeah, it's really a special time, and I think we're gonna have them here most of the week, so it's gonna be
Awesome.
gonna be nice.
Very cool.
Watching movies. Also, if you have some spare time outside of watching movies with your family, you can obviously watch this on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And then we have a nice special coming out on Christmas Day. It's the premiere of our Muddy TV Cribs.
Cribs.
Yes.
When you look at people's houses, you're gonna see houses that you've seen all over town. You're gonna go, that house is really cool. I wonder what it looks like inside.
Oh, if you're
And Brittany and Randy are gonna take us inside. Actually, Randy's doing. I wanted Brittany to do like some hosty stuff.
Yeah.
You should just do an intro, do a pitch, and then let the homeowner take it over.
That's not how this goes. I'm silent in this.
It is.
I have some questions
Hey, mark that down. She's
well,
silent.
I guess
That's never
I do pop
a
up
thing.
with some questions in the back, so like.
But it's really. I watched the first
really
one
cool.
because I set it up to do it. And it was really cool, and
the spotlight is on the homeowner.
The spotlight's on the
and
home.
we got
and
a
homeowners.
really good homeowner for this first one.
Yes.
She knew her shit. It was
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's a very smart
Like,
lady.
The tour, I mean, I couldn't stop. I was like, can we keep going? Can
Yeah.
we keep going? So
It's very intriguing. I'm always the girl, even when I'm not looking for houses, I love going on like Zillow or Realtor.com and just looking at the inside of people's homes, especially the ones with character, which this one is outstanding. I mean, it's incredible. The idea in and of itself it's a concept that I think is so cool, especially for a small community. Because, we all drive down the street and we see these houses all the time. But to be able to get a peek inside,
a lot
nice
of these
job.
Houses are actually on the architectural tour,
Mm-hmm.
and Sequency is actually the one that is bringing us the Muddy TV crib. So thank you
Yay.
for that.
Thank you, Sequency.
Obviously,
the
Randy
Quincy
is helping
Grow,
us bring us that.
Yep.
And Randy helps us bring a lot of the entertainment and / educational pieces to our Muddy River TV channel. And the next thing that I think we're going to talk about is his baby, the original, the OG Muddy River Gems.
Yeah.
Well, it was originally
It was
this,
Illinois Stories,
but it's our original
back in the day.
entertainment.
It's better
piece.
now.
Yeah.
They made it better. So I just want to know when we're going to have the Conrad House on Muddy TV Cribs.
Let me know because I got to clean.
No, that's the
Listen.
best part.
Oh, okay.
Show up.
Hey, come
Randy
anytime,
shows up
then.
with a camera. She's sitting there doing her work for her day job.
Yep.
And,
Hey,
wearing a
listen, we
t-shirt
live
and
in our
shorts
home. If
and-
you want to come see how we live, you are more than welcome to
We
come
might add
in.
that one to the list now.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Do it. Honestly, just let me make my bed because that's one thing I don't want people to I got some kind of.
Hey, my wife's off the next 2 weeks. Our house ought to be immaculate,
Oh,
right?
Ellen,
Oh,
I hope you're not
ouch.
watching this.
You-
Just
and
take
now-
one of
and
those
now
Christmas
you
gifts
get-
and
and
chuck it in the
now
fire.
You
okay?
get to deal for the next 2 weeks after that one.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be fun. No,
Yeah,
it's not. No,
I
it's
couldn't
she's more happy. She's as happy as the kid that the kids are gonna be there.
Sure,
Yeah. So
yeah.
this week is like I said. I told her, I'm like, look, you're busy and you're stressed now, but as soon as Christmas is over, you then got 10 days
Yeah.
where you don't have to do anything.
Speaking of, real quick here,
Uh-oh.
has it always been over 2 weeks for this break?
I think
Depends on when the day falls.
Yeah, I
God.
think it's because the way the day
17
falls.
days,
Claire
counting
said-
weekends.
Claire said, we don't go back to the 7th. I said, not even the 6th. The 6th is a Monday. No, they go back the 7th. Well, we'll enjoy some time. I'm sorry, that was snarky.
You're not going to enjoy anything.
Well,
you're going to be like December 30th, or you're like,
You'll know when you see me hanging out here a little bit more often. 'Cause
poor Nora's going to be across the street at Denman, sitting out in the cold, going, "Mom made me sit
Mom
over
made me
here.
come over
She made me
here.
come over here.
No,
The
I
school's
really.
not
So I
open."
was just telling Luke last night, all funnies aside, that there have been years when I struggle with getting in the Christmas spirit, where I'm, the hustle and bustle, it kind of gets overwhelming, and the obligations. And I know church isn't an obligation, but it is something that you want to do. So it's a to-do, and it feels like our lists get longer and longer and longer. This year, we were talking last night in the garage, and I said, I feel like I'm more present this year than I have been in the past, and maybe it's because things have been put into perspective recently with a lot of loved ones passing, and it's just kind of it's more important to realize that the moment is here for a reason, and to celebrate that moment with people that
I
we
really,
love.
Friday night we had our company holiday party at.
Thank you, by the way, it was awesome.
It was a lot of fun, and thank you to Jim and Mike for also their help in that. So, okay, what's the name of the place?
WG's.
WG's Whiskey Guy, Wine Gal meets Whiskey Guy.
Yes.
So we were there, and it was great, and they were wonderful hosts, and our buddies at the tower brought us food, and it was fantastic, and that really kind of got us in the mood, and we had a nice time, but we didn't extend the party like you two ladies did apparently at the Abbey afterwards.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, listen, it comes around once a year, and
some of us had to work the next day, Ashley.
yeah, I definitely celebrated enough for a lot of people. We got some really great gifts thanks to the McLeans and Ramey. Gabe made a special guest appearance. It was pretty cool. It was a lot like old times.
Did you bring your gifts to show
I
people?
accidentally left mine there.
What?
I know.
Oh my God, you got the gold.
Yeah. So I know I did. So Rod, Gabe, Jeff, hold on to those gifts for me. I will be back to get them. Okay? Don't you fear. They always give the best
I noticed.
adult gifts.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
I was like, it was awesome.
It was
though.
awesome,
I'm glad
yeah.
to see you guys back, and again, I'm glad the party was rocking like the old days. So,
fun.
Pop rockin'.
Yeah.
well, speaking of the old days, Randy Phillips will be coming up here
Woohoo!
with us next.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
What kind of shows will you see on Muddy River Gems each month? The same award-winning storytelling from Mark McDonald and crew that you enjoyed for nearly 20 years on PBS. Muddy River Gems with host Mark McDonald. A new episode every month online from Muddy River News.
So Randy Phillips
Are we good?
joins us now.
Hey,
We're
that's
good.
me.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you all?
Welcome.
When did you all get here?
Oh, I flew in on my sleigh recently.
Broom.
Oh, that's a Christmas burn.
Oh, Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Well, it was kind of like his burn for you back in the day.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
come
what was that?
on.
What was that about? Yeah.
He's
Randy
fresh
was-
and new.
He directed my first newscast when I was on KQA back
He
in
did.
1990.
He did.
Back in
Uh-huh.
1837.
I was
Yeah.
1990. He was there a little
Oh.
bit before, but
Yeah.
Old
yeah.
bells.
I started there in 82.
I started there in
Okay.
July of 90.
I was one, and I was 9. And
Boy, this,
Nine?
this time of
9.
life feels good. You
you know, it is the season to really reflect on how.
When I was over sitting behind the switcher a minute ago before
Mm-hmm.
before this area here, you guys were talking about getting in the spirit. What do you
Yeah.
guys do to get in the Christmas spirit every year? I can tell you what I'll do. But
Yes.
you go ahead.
Okay, so I think it's not something that I do. It's the people that I'm around, and I know that sounds kind of kitschy or cliche, but it really, I really kind of take on everyone's attitudes around me. So I try to stay off Broadway. Okay.
Stay away from him.
Yeah. So, right.
They say the neon lights
Because I cannot handle the hustle and bustle. So I do my shopping either late at night or early in the morning if I have to be out and about. Because I think that when you immerse yourself into the hustle and bustle, that's the kind of attitude you take on. But if you do things in a way, like I started earlier, which kind of bit me in the ass, but just because I continue to buy more and more and more, I always say,
I don't see the bike.
yeah, okay. I say I'm going to start early, and I have a, full-on to-do list, and then I just keep expanding it because I seem to have more time. But I enjoy all of it until I'm around people who aren't enjoying it. Then I kind of take that on. So I just do it smarter.
Mine is in phases. It really starts when used to be when I had to get on the roof, but thank God my children are old enough to get on the roof now to get the lights up, and that's the first thing we do. But we also get a real tree. So we do the lights. We generally do the lights Thanksgiving weekend if the weather's nice. Then we generally wait another 2 weeks or so to do the tree. We'll get the tree, but we'll leave it in the garage in a bucket of water, and then roughly December 15th-ish, we'll put the tree up, and then we'll decorate it. Now, we didn't get the tree really decorated until a couple days later because Scott came back from ISU and did the bulk of that. So that's kind of been the one way. But ever since we started here at Muddy River and had our holiday parties, the last 3 years, that's really been the thing that's kind of gotten me. All right, everybody's hanging out. We're doing, and this year's was really nice. I mean, we've had it in the office a couple of years, and it's okay. But we went there, and the place, whiskey wine gal guy was all
That's the official name.
It was all lit up and decorated, and just beautiful. They did such a great
Oh, my
job. They
gosh.
were wonderful hosts, and we had a bunch of us show up, and it was a lot of fun, and we took pictures. And again, it was just that was really like, okay, we're rocking now.
Yeah.
We're in the mood.
Yeah. So Marcy starts her barrage of decorating at home, and so she's got Rubbermaid tubs everywhere full of stuff, and it starts coming out, and we go get a tree at Oakbrook Acres, which is up the road from us up there by Camp Point.
Cool.
But for me personally, I always enjoyed watching the David Letterman Christmas show.
Really?
With Jay Thomas.
Okay.
Telling the Lone Ranger story.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, I'll summarize it real quick. Jay Thomas was a well-known actor. He was in Cheers and a bunch of other shows, and a comedian and a DJ
Cliff?
and a radio host.
Who? What?
Child, please.
Huh? I don't know. Who was he on Cheers?
Put the YouTube link on. I'll put the YouTube link on with the site. Then you'll know.
Just trying to
We'll
keep
do that.
everybody else
So,
up.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so when he was a young DJ, one day he was out helping do a store opening somewhere, and they got the guy who played the Lone Ranger, Clayton Moore. They got him to come and help come open the store. And after it's all said and done, Jay and his buddy went out behind the store and had a couple.
Little toke,
and little something there. And they came back and they noticed the Lone Ranger just standing there by himself looking around like, what do I do now? And they said, can we help you? Do you need a ride somewhere? He goes, yes, I can certainly use a ride to the Red Roof Inn. So we gave him a ride to the Red Roof Inn. Along the way, somebody bumps into the back of them and mashes their tail light, and pulls around them and leaves. And they're like, we got to get this guy. And they go chasing after him and finally get the guy pulled over. And they're two stoner-looking guys with long hair and everything. And the guy jumps out and says, who's anybody going to believe, you stoners or me? And the Lone Ranger gets out of the car and says, they'll believe me, citizen.
No.
And the guy says, I didn't know it was you.
That seems like cinema.
So now here's the other end of that, too.
Magic.
And then Darlene Love would come on and sing Christmas on the Letterman show. That was always great. That always got me in the spirit right there. But there's a secondary part to that Jay Thomas story that he told on the Gilbert Gottfried podcast.
Oh, my God. God rest his soul.
Yeah. God rest his smutty soul. So
it was a great podcast.
So after that, they got him to the Red Roof Inn, and they said, is there anything more we can do for you? We really appreciate your help. He goes, well, is there any chance there could be some entertainment?
Ladies.
And he was looking for a girl.
Yeah.
And they knew a girl in the town they were in who liked to meet celebrities when they came in town.
Please tell me her name was Silver.
They did.
Silver!
They did say that it was her name was a common color. So anyway, that's all he would say. So anyway, they went and they called her and said, the Lone Ranger's in town. The Lone Ranger. And so they brought her over and took her in. They said, when you get done, give us a call. We'll come pick you up, and don't say a word. We want to get you back to our apartment. And they went and got the William Tell overture, and they played that and had her tell what happened. And apparently, the Lone Ranger had a suitcase with some special equipment in it.
Say no more. Gotcha.
So
I think
that's the whole Lone Ranger story.
Was my gift from the Abbey.
Tonto was not in the suitcase?
No, yeah. Well, maybe that's what he called one of them. But
hi-ho. Yeah. So I think though everybody has these special things that kind of get you in the spirit. I think it's really cool to see and hear everyone else's take on the holidays. Even in my house, it's different. I turn on Christmas music when I'm cooking around the holidays, and my kids love it. So it's like I always try to think I'm creating memories without knowing it, right? How do I create the best memories for my kids? And even though I'm working my ass off to try and get gifts and things, that's not what they remember. They remember mom asking them for help in the kitchen while she's listening to Christmas music. They remember
that one special year there was smoke rolling out of the oven.
Oh, that's every year. That's every year. They remember dad standing in the living room watching Christmas movies, but also just flittering about because that's what dad does.
Mine is smoking the turkey out in the
but it's always kind of the smaller things. And in my house, some of my fondest memories were just people coming in and out, just constant people, and also candy baking, cookie baking, just the togetherness and the highlights that really make the season what it is. Not necessarily gifts, not the hustle and bustle. It's just, it's the people. It's the good stuff. Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah.
No, it is. Like I said, it's my favorite time of the year, period, bar none. But
we 4th of July.
I know.
Yeah, fireworks, yeah.
But we're here, Randy and Mark McDonald. They had this wonderful show on PBS for years called Illinois Stories. And then when PBS sort of downsized?
They made the decision that their official reasoning was cost. But basically, they didn't want anything to do with local production is what it comes down to. That's my belief.
Well,
but anyway,
who knows? Here's how you handle that. Randy came to me and said, we'd really like to keep doing this. So I'm like, okay, if we get a sponsor, we can do it. And our friends at Dot Foods, they do so much for the community, and we have like 3,000. I mean, Dot Foods is, if it's not the best company to work for in our area, it's on the Mount Rushmore, so to speak, of 4. But we went to them.
Parties, I know that.
And great like name entertainment and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But Ron Kinshriff went and pitched them this, and basically they underwrite it. They all of the cost that goes in that we get from Muddy River Gems, that they pay for the sponsorship, and the underwriting goes to the production of it. We don't even. It's cool. Like, we're just you guys. So Randy and Mark then started doing this. And how many have we done?
We have now done 26 episodes.
Dang.
So we're starting our third year.
Starting on third year.
And we normally air them the first Monday of every month, but normally in January we'll run it on New Year's Day because we're looking for content, and it's great content anyway, and more of you should be watching it, and we're going to put them out there so you can all see it, and it's great stuff.
Yeah.
And Randy and Mark talk to all these people from both sides of the river, and it's just so much history, and that's
connection.
What we try to do here, along with just covering the regular, murder trial du jour, or obits, real estate, all the other stuff we got to tell the people just want to go see. We have Muddy River Gems. It's like we just now had the anniversary, the 125th anniversary of the St. Francis fire, where a bunch of kids were killed, and Jim and Martha Rapp's sister-in-law wrote this wonderful 6-part series about it a few years ago, and since this was the 125th year, we put that up. Again, it's history and perspective. Muddy River Gems is history and perspective, going from stuff all the way in Springfield to the other side of the river, and just all this great stuff and interesting things and tidbits around our area. And you guys guys knock it out of the park.
It's like a community connection.
It's fun, and what I tell everybody every time we do this and we talk about it is, I'm from this area. I've been here my entire life, and every single time we do one of these shows, I learn something new.
Yeah.
It's always
Very
something
cool.
different. Yeah. We the episode coming up. It's called Country School Museum. Out near St. Anthony's School, there's some folks out there that have put up their own small one-room schoolhouse museum, basically, and it's not just a collection of old pieces of junk around it.
Yeah. This
is an actual museum. They have actual historical artifacts in there, and it's incredible what they've done with this place.
Takes you back in time a little bit.
Yeah. That's it exactly. It's astounding what they've done. And it's technically not open to the public yet. It will be this coming year because the Adams County Bicentennial is happening this coming year, and that's going to be a portion of the actual video. And I'm producing a video for them as well. But it's going to be astounding. And we've like Bob said, we went all over Missouri and Illinois, and the first one was the Perry Carousel.
My hometown, yep.
If you're not familiar with that, the city of Perry, Missouri, years ago had a carousel, a little merry-go-round, and it was steam powered.
Wow.
How weird is that? So eventually it got sold off and sent somewhere else, and then folks started getting nostalgic and thinking, hey, I remember that carousel. I wonder whatever happened to that. They found it down in St. Louis, bought it back, brought it back up to Perry, and would set it up in the park every year, then decided, let's go ahead and build a building around it. And it's in there, and it's run by electricity now. But
wow.
It's beautiful. It's a piece of history right there.
And people who I grew up with, friends of mine, they've thrown their heart and soul into the restoration, and it is really a cool project. Matter of fact, this last year they were recognized by the Missouri Arts Council or something for it. So cool. and that video was shown to the Missouri Arts Council as part of the presentation. And so I mean, again, you look at this kind of stuff, and again, and the nice thing about this is having this. You're never going to run out of content. There's always ideas, and we're looking for ideas too. If you want to send it, we've got a couple that have popped up on our radar the last couple of years. Have been like, wow, these are great things. We're going to do this.
Exactly. Yeah. So, with the original show that we used to do for PBS, we did. It was close to 1,950 episodes.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 1,250 episodes. 1,250 episodes in 19 seasons. That's what it was.
So now 26 episodes in, with it under Muddy River News umbrella. You have a favorite? Is it hard to pick?
It's like
Do you
picking
have
your
anything
favorite
else?
kid.
I know,
look
but
down my list.
It's like picking your favorite kid.
Is there something that you were like, holy shit, I had no idea? Or is there, because when I watch these, I'm like, honestly, I don't know half of what there is to know.
Sure.
So it's always very intriguing to me. But I want to know, because you are very well versed in history in our community, which also makes this really enjoyable to watch, because you do a really good job of showcasing it. But
we did one over at the Sweetwater Distillery, and we got free drinks over there, so that was
hey,
pretty cool.
Hey, yeah. Cheers. Yeah. But anything like super intriguing that you were like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Well, we did one at the Vets Home here at the new building at the Vets Home. Got to go inside that and see where it's at and how it's gonna be in the future and stuff. That was cool. One of the ones that long-term history in this area. We did the Possum Holler Opry people, which people in this area who've been here a long time remember that. There's a guy named Richard Elson Peter, and his character was Toby Dick Ellis, and it was if you go back and you watch. It was the number one show on WGEM for quite a few years, local show on WGEM. They actually went down to Nashville and produced a half-hour episode, excuse me, of this, and they even had a little cartoon possum jumping around in it, and they've got a copy of that on VHS tape still, and they put that up as a possibility for national syndication. And the people down there said, I don't think so. And a few years later, they came up with a show called Hee Haw that looked really similar to it.
Yep.
Darndest thing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Shame. I know your name.
Well, Mr. Elson Peter, Toby Dick Ellis, we got to talk to him and had a great time sitting there doing an interview with him. And I believe it was last year, I believe he passed
Within
away.
the last year he passed because we
Yeah.
wrote something up on his passing, and then we incorporated, obviously we had the video, so we posted the video, and But no, and when you go back and look at this history that we have in this area on just so many different topics, and Randy and Mark and Randy have just done this fantastic job, and we generally kind of every year try to update with them on like Muddy River this week and Muddy River News this week or whatever, and kind of talk and stuff. So we'll do that again here shortly. But again, just for them to kind of lay out, hey, this is what life was like around here, or this is how this impacted us. And there's just so many great stories.
Here's something right now that's impacting us as well.
Any wish lists for upcoming shows? I mean, what would be your like holy grail?
To go and get to ride one of those rockets up into space or something. But, that's
okay. Well, we'll put
more
that on the
airplane
wish
shows.
list, but...
More airplane shows.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But as far as so of course Quincy is rich with history, but a lot of people talk about let's talk about like the Skyrider. And
I was just getting ready to say.
Okay, so I want you to do something like that.
I think Quinsippy Island would be fantastic.
Yeah, so the Quinsippy Island is something, it's almost like an enigma to me because I've lived here my entire life. I don't necessarily know everything there is to know about that.
You were born after it died.
Right, but I still can go there, so I can see the history of it.
I rode the Skyride.
You did?
Yeah, the day the Skyride opened, they had free rides.
Yeah.
And I was in line. I was 10 years old or something at the time. And I was in line, and they stopped the line 7 people in front of me.
No.
You son
Damn it!
You still rode it at some point.
Oh, yeah. No, I rode it. And the little queue, the little train that was over there on the island, rode that several times.
Okay, so
And I've got footage. Part of my business, one of the things I do is I transfer people's old home movies to digital. And every time I get a reel of film...
Movies,
not those kind of. Well,
let's not talk about the seedy side of your business.
It's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas. Okay.
The old reels of film, and there's every 100 of them, there's some footage of the little queue and the Skyride, and I always I've transferred footage of like one of the old churches in town after it burned, some of the fire there, and tearing down the building, and I always save that footage and eventually get the permission from the people I transferred from. And when I get enough built up, I take it to the Historical Society and say, here, donation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because they've got tons of pictures, but not very much moving footage.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, if I have a wish list, it would be, Quinsippy and the rich history there. Skyride, of course, was also the Skyride Inn, right? So there's a connection between the riverfront and Quinsippy Island, naturally. But I wasn't alive to be able to experience that, and I think that would have been one of the things that I would have loved to be able to look back.
There was an old a full-size steam engine sitting over there on the island for years too.
When you look at what that was, and again, the issue with that was it was part of the park district.
Yeah.
And again, being a public entity, and back then, the decision, because there are a lot of people who were alive back then who will say that if we had just kept that going, it could have been Silver Dollar City. Yeah. It could have been something like this if we had just kept putting things into it, but it got to a point where the park, it got too big for the park district.
My memory of it the reason they shut down the Skyride, and don't quote me on this, but my memory was that every other year, they had to have the towers X-rayed, the welds,
I
and
can
one of
imagine
them didn't pass
overhead.
one year, and they said, okay, show's over.
Well, the liability, for now, in today's day, I can't even imagine it, but it would really be cool.
If you fall into the river, you're fine.
Well, harnesses happen for a reason.
Float.
But I think that would be really cool.
Remember, Six Flags used to have one of those back in the day down in St. Louis.
Disney has
you
one.
read those. So.
Also, so now, just real quick, a question that I have,
And
maybe you guys
Grafton.
can answer.
Grafton, yes.
Clarksville. Yes, right?
Yeah, well, Clarksville used to,
When I drive across the bridge now to West Quincy, and you look back, and maybe you've seen this and maybe you haven't, it looks like there's a pretty modern building there now.
That was where the Skyride came down in from crossing the river, came down into that building, did its turnaround, and came back.
What is that today?
They just store stuff over there, I think. I think it's just,
it'd be
random
really cool
stuff in
to do
there.
a story on that, so maybe we can
Ashley
hit that
wants
up.
to be a Muddy River Jones
a
contributor
correspondent.
I would love to do a little reresearch on it. I think it'd be so cool. Any other great memories from doing this, or people you've met?
I'll tell you, one of the stories I always tell, and I'll tell it publicly here, when we were doing the previous show, and this is a kind of a funny thing, you get into those situations where the interview may not be as good as it could have been.
Sure.
And we got a call from somebody saying, hey, I've got a collection of dolls. Mm-hmm. And, okay, that's someone, so we show up at their place, and, okay, where's the doll collection? Oh, it's out here in this building out here. And we go out, and those buildings that sit in Farm and Home parking lot?
Yeah, shed.
It's one of those.
Yeah, Little Morton building type
All right.
deal.
And open the door, and there's a big pile of dolls on the floor.
No.
Valley of the Dolls.
And no lights in there either. And it's...
that would give
like
me
this.
nightmares.
Well, we say, okay, pick out a half dozen or so, that have something special. Oh, there's none that are special. I just have a lot of them. Okay.
I have a lot of tchotchkes, too.
We made a half-hour show out of it.
Seriously?
This is called making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
I got
That's
it.
what this is called. But no, but for every one of those that you have to oh my God, what are we going to do? You're going to have 10. They're going to be, it's fantastic. The thing writes itself. It shoots itself.
And Mark is one of those guys that every time when you get done, people that are all nervous about being on camera and everything, they get done, they go, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
He's so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that naturally can talk to people and bring out whatever information they have. And well, if he did it with the doll person,
you can do it with anybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's naturally done that. Mark was in media. He was the anchor at one of the Springfield stations for quite a few years over there, and then moved on from that and did a few other things, and eventually was kind of looking toward retirement, I think.
Yeah.
And PBS got a hold of him and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And 1,250 episodes later.
That's outstanding.
And here's the great thing. When we got canceled, we were up for an Emmy nomination.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that done with MRN. That would be phenomenal.
We'd totally be fine with submitting those.
Oh, my gosh.
I first met Mark when I was at Quincy Journal, and I would drive over to Springfield and be on a show called Capitol View, which was like their PBS political talking head roundtable. Mm-hmm. And Mark would be over there doing something or whatever with Scott Traylor and some of those guys. Yeah. And that's where I first met him and would watch Illinois. That's where I first kind of found out what Illinois Stories was and started really watching them pretty regularly then when they came on. And then, we always gave money to PBS and did that stuff when they actually tried here, but they don't anymore. So I guess one other thing I just want to say is, again, as I told everybody is here, you are a part of this team, and I really appreciate the help that you give us. And Randy's one of those guys that if we need help, he's there in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and he does it phenomenally. So when we know that a video is being edited by Mr. Randy, we know that it's going to be top quality. And that's not just because he's good at the technology side. It's because I feel like you just have a heart in everything that you do. He has this rule where he doesn't drink until after his job is done.
What a silly rule.
I mean, we don't all adopt that rule. I know, but I think it's very respectable. But I think it's because he wants to put out the best that he can every time.
That's
and I think
true.
That's
the other end of that though is if I'm gonna start having a couple of drinks, it's fun time.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about work
it's
at
time.
that point.
Yeah, it's totally.
Didn't you ever watch Dr. Johnny Fever, for the love of God?
Well, yeah.
No, he drank the more he got better. The more he drank.
But that's what I'm saying. We'll start drinking. They just go, bing, bing.
So,
But he's produced so much of what we do here on Muddy River News, and it's always top notch. And not only that, but he again brings heart to everything he does, and we definitely appreciate you and everything that you do for us.
Speaking of producing, before we wrap this up, you notice we put this lovely snowfall background up here.
Yes.
We did our show last week when I had the fire coming out of my head.
Yeah.
Had Randy been producing
He was hairy.
that, he would have said, move, do something.
Yeah,
So
but you know what? That again is.
I want to give a shout out to our friends at Wild Quincy for
Yes.
pointing that out. I sent Randy the picture, so
That was
now you
friggin'
see
amazing, guys.
flame coming out of my head, flame coming out of Joe Pesci's head.
Yeah.
I saw it as soon as I did. I'm like, oh.
Pure gold.
And I thought, I'm Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
but
pure gold.
Me when I'm slapping something together, because I've got, trying to run this whole dog and pony show.
Uh-huh.
Randy is more of an artiste and can more of critical look. Me, I'm like slap, done.
Yeah.
But Randy.
And then you end up like Joe Pesci with
and you look
fire.
like Joe Pesci when you're done. But at least me look like Joe Pesci, and not the fire coming out of your Brittany's head.
I don't know. Listen, I'm on fire all the time.
Put fire on everybody's head. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
Hey,
again.
appreciate it, and it's a great ride so far, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the time.
Okay, real quick, once more. The next episode comes out when?
New Year's Day.
New Year's
All
Day,
right.
yeah.
New Year's
yeah.
Day.
What a way to start off 2025.
That's right. It's great content.
Yeah.
Again, like everybody else is shut down, but we've got this in the can. We pop it on.
Love it.
Great content.
Always, here's the secret. Always look, as you're watching the show, always look for reflections in the window. So I try to get myself in every episode.
Yes.
Or a mirror. Or
Oh, it's
whatever.
like the traveling Randy.
And on Christmas Day, we're dropping Muddy River Cribs that you shot.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
true. Yeah. That was a fun show. I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it was cool, and it
Good.
wasn't just
Brittany's got
chop,
like
chop.
85 of more of them for you.
Well, we're talking about going to my house for one of them.
The Airbnb or your house?
Our house, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brittany, we're going to go to Ashley's house.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I have
just
to get
ma-
Marcy to clean the place up.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Just
Is
let
Marcy gonna clean
me.
your house too? No.
She probably
No, I'll
would.
have the girls do it.
So-
I'll have to bribe them.
I'll make sure. Yeah. Marcy.
Yeah.
All right. Merry Christmas, happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
All right, buddy. Thank
Love
you.
you.
Merry Christmas, happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
All right.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything you do.
See you next year.